Boker Tov, good morning. We continue with our 3-minute daily dose of Torah, having begun yesterday a new chapter in Rav Soloveitchik's Yemei Zikaron entitled "The Sod Siach HaShofar," the secret of the communication of the shofar. Yesterday we looked at the lengthy Rambam about what it is the shofar is hinting at us to do, and it's a pretty direct thing to hint at. Look at yourselves. Look at what you've done to yourselves. Straighten yourselves out. All the empty, wasted of time that you've had in your life. Remember your Creator. That's what the shofar is there to do. Uru yishenim mishinatchem. Wake up, you sleepers, from your slumber. The Rav Soloveitchik begins to analyze this in another part of the teaching of the Rambam by noting the following second halacha that we meet later in Hilchos Shofar and in the teachings of the Rambam. Hamitasek b'tchiyat shofar lehitlamed. Someone who just sounds the shofar, he's just sounding it in order to, this is a practice. He wants to learn how to blow the shofar. Lo yatzai dei chavato, that doesn't work. You haven't fulfilled your obligation if you did that on Rosh Hashanah. And so also, of course, someone who hears from the person who is doing that is not yotzei, meaning not fulfill the commandment. But because even though they want to say, I want to do the mitzvah shofar, but if the sounder of the shofar doesn't have in mind that he is doing the mitzvah of shofar sounding, rather he's learning how to play the instrument of the shofar. Doesn't matter what the listener wants, it has to be in sync with kavana to be blowing the shofar for the shofar. One way or the other, either you don't have intention to fulfill the mitzvah, until both really have kavanah. So there's one level of this, which is that you have to have intention when you're blowing it to fulfill the mitzvah. And this sounds like, even though there's a discussion, an important discussion in general in halacha, that if you do a mitzvah without kavanah, without the intention to be doing the mitzvah, you did the mitzvah. So do you fulfill your obligation or not? So the machlokes about mitzvos, tzrichos, kavanah or not, where the mitzvos require intentionality. But it seems that whatever we'll have to go further in this, but even if you hold that mitzvos generally don't require kavanah, if the mitzvah itself is tied up with a kavanah, then maybe you have to have it. If the mitzvah is tied up with your thought pattern, it's not merely a tooting from a shofar, but it's a show even if God told me to toot our shofar, but rather to be doing something which is about to awaken something within me, maybe you haven't fulfilled your mitzvah without thinking about that. We'll talk about this further, God willing, tomorrow.